Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think it's okay right now. Sounds okay. Yeah, so my name is Jeff Gross, and I am a professional poker player and streamer, and I've been playing about 17 years. So just definitely a unique kind of profession. People, when you talk to them about it, it seems like every time I meet someone new, they're pretty fascinated by it, that you can do it for a living, play cards. It's a little unconventional. But yeah, I've been doing it a long time, and I really love it and get to travel around, meet some great people, and have had great experiences. And I wouldn't have traded it for anything. Up to this point, I can't imagine doing anything else.
Yeah, I had the same experience when I was playing more active, and I was telling people I'm a poker player. Most people think of someone like Dan Bilzerian or like a joke, so people don't get that you can actually like make kind of constant money and you can live just from playing poker. It's still for all those people that are not in the poker community, kind of myth, and yeah, but it is possible, and there are a lot of professional poker players out there, a lot more than most people think, because it's not only those that are like in the TV and stuff. Also, a lot of players play just online and stuff. So yeah, it's a very viable way of living nowadays. How did you get started with playing poker? How were the first steps for you, and how old are you when you're playing for 17 years already? Did not even know that on my tour.
I'm 31 years old, so I mean, I was around 13, 14, but when I started playing, it was with friends, 25 cent, 50 cent. I remember someone brought, I played soccer or football, depending on what part of the world you're in. I played very competitively through college, but in high school, someone brought chips, like a chip set in. It was around the 2003 moneymaker year, and kind of saw it on TV a little bit. We started playing, and I always loved board games, video games. So when I saw this game, I was doing pretty well, like without knowing position or any of the key kind of fundamental components of the game, literally just playing for the first time. I had a decent instinct for it and kind of did well versus my friends. And then this was back then online. I think there was like, a few different sites you could play on, and I was on at the time playing and put on $50 player to player transfer and spun it up pretty good. Maybe it was a couple times depositing. I can't remember, 1 or 2 or 3. It was just one of those things where I put it on and was playing 25 cent, 50 cent. Then I got into tournaments a little bit, and it became a little bit of an obsession. I loved it. I was playing online. I was playing live with friends, having sit and go or small 20, 30 person tournaments at my house, or going to casinos. Once I got a little older, I was going up to play $1, $2, started playing limit hold'em, and just started really playing a lot. I was playing 14, 16, 18-hour sessions during college. When I come home for the summer, I would drive up to Canada where it was 19 to play, and was putting in big sessions and having ridiculous returns. I'd start with 200 and win 2, 3, 4K sometimes in these sessions and take a shot. I remember I used to play a 10-20 no limit game where it was a $600 minimum buy-in on Fridays in Windsor. So I would usually go up, play, stay there Thursday night, or go Friday in the morning and then play. And then I'd go and sit in that game with 800 or 1,000, and it was uncapped, 10-20 no limit. So guys would sit with 20 grand, 10 grand, whatever. But I would come in, there were 600, 800, 1,000, and sometimes spin it up pretty nice. A lot of times I'd leave with nothing but taking a pretty reasonable shot from my 1-2 winnings. And that was sort of where I got my first big cash game experience. And yeah, it's just been never looked back. I mean, it was just, I had a good score in Vegas when I was young, and I've really been fortunate with some relationships I made in poker and opportunities I've been given, and it's been a blast. I was doing affiliate programs in college, crazy stuff going, like crazy numbers, crazy sign up bonuses and all that. Like I was in affiliate programs. That's how I got my first real kind of like a set role coming in, where each month I was like, sign up 20 people, 30 people and get bonuses on top of what I was getting. And that's sort of how I really was able to get a nice bankroll going, was from the affiliate side of it, and doing that as well. So I was on the other kind of business side of it from an early age, understanding how affiliate programs work and how I could use that in poker, and kind of using a little bit like personality, kind of in, networking from an early age, and using that to my benefit.
Yeah, for those that don't know that, Jeff is not just playing poker for a living, even though he could. He's also promoting poker as a Pokerstars Pro. And as he said, he was even doing other affiliate stuff before, which is basically a way of advertising products to his own viewers and fans and followers, and get a share or a commission if they get this products. And for a lot of poker players, it's a nice way of getting more constant income. So you can plan a little bit more, because normal you have a very volatile income with playing poker. Jeff, I want to ask you, how old have you been when you finally realized, okay, I can actually do that for a living, and it's also superior to, like you said you were in college, to superior to the other jobs that you could do at this time, or that you could do later in your life? And how was it when, like, you confronted your parents and friends with them, and were starting to tell other people, like your close friends, that you're now playing poker for a living, you're not doing anything else anymore?
You know, it's pretty easy. It was a really easy transition, just because in college I played soccer, University of South Carolina. So, you know, we practiced every day. We had games. It was very intense. So I wasn't expected to have a job. You know, it wasn't like, oh, go get a job as this and to make some supplemental income. It was like, no, I was on the soccer team at the university. So, you know, I went to study hall, I went to classes, I trained every day. We had some days 2-a-days. But then it was kind of like, oh, this is perfect. I can't go get a job and work at the bookstore, or, you know, at Arby's or McDonald's, but I could pop online and play poker at any time I want. Even I remember, you know, this was like 2004. It was in class. You know, I could play poker. And sometimes I was playing in class. I was playing at study hall. I would be doing my homework in 1-2 tabling, you know, or one table. I remember there was a couple nights I would stay up all night, and I had like a 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. lab for chemistry. I'll never forget, but I would stay up that day. I remember sometimes, and I would just stay up all night, and I would take like $11 at a 25-cent 50 to like $700-800. Just one table in, like, I mean, it was the glory days of online poker and cash games then as well. It was just way different. But, you know, I was doing well. I was having fun, and I kind of was like, I didn't really have to like call my dad. It wasn't like I was out of college and looking for a job or needed a job and was like, oh, hey, I think I'm going to try poker. I was just kind of like doing it all the way through. And then when I got out of college, I moved in with Michael Phelps. That was my roommate, the swimmer, Olympic swimmer, and, you know, he likes poker too. And so, like, it was just like, he was like, oh, why don't you come live with me? You can live anywhere. You know, like I was playing poker. I was like, yeah, whatever, right? I'm out of college. I'm having fun. So I lived with him, and then was just kind of playing. Like, that was what I was doing. I was having fun, enjoying my post-college time, and playing a lot of poker. So it was great. It was perfect. I was living there, playing, getting better, learning. And then I think it was my first 2009 at the World Series, I hit a 1K buy-in for 109,000 for 5th place. So, you know, that got me kind of like, now it was like I was fresh out of college, and it was kind of like, you know, it wasn't like, oh, is this going to work? It was just kind of like, okay, now I have a little boosted income. I have a little, I know I had the confidence that I could actually get like significant money. Then I had more money to play bigger cash games, selling pieces, affiliate money was coming in still. I was networking, you know, it was just kind of like, I was just sort of like put into it. It wasn't really ever like, oh, can I do this? Asking my parents, please let me do it. My dad started playing poker when he loves it. He was like, you know, at first in college, when I told him I was playing a lot, they were a little worried, of course, as any parent really would be, like, oh, hey, I'm playing poker. Like, no one really knows what it means or what it is. And even though it is a skill game, there is some gambling, of course, component, and, you know, the tendency for parents to be worried, but they weren't like, don't do it or be careful. It was just kind of like, okay. And then my dad started playing. He understood the game. But my dad said he wishes he had played earlier in his life. And my dad's very conservative. He's a controller at Ford Motor Company, does finance, does the numbers. You know, he's very conservative guy, but he really saw the benefits of poker and how you can apply it to at a lot of areas of your life, with risk management, stress, managing, being balanced, having to deal with losses, having to deal with, you know, stuff doesn't always go well. And he just like loves it and thinks it's so pure of a game, and that you can apply it in almost every area of your life. So it was like real easy. There was never any of that conversation that don't do it or be stressed about it. So it was pretty smooth transition into doing it.
Yeah, you let it sound like it's it's just as easy as that, like hit a big score and then you just can transition easily. I want to add that actually you have to have some discipline too, because a lot of people that are winning big scores overestimate their skills and start to playing too high games, and they're losing their bankroll pretty fast. So compliment for that, props for that you found out, or you knew which limits you can play, how much you can move up and stuff like that. We're still keeping your bankroll and increasing your bankroll. So it's not as easy like that. And especially everyone who wins a big tournament score or something like that, I suggest to don't move up that quickly, because
I want to point out too, I'm very conservative on bankroll, even maybe too much. Like I never really followed a rule like have this much, 20 buy-ins or 50. I didn't do it like that Kelly criterion kind of stuff, but it was more so just like I always was very conservative. I just didn't like to risk a lot. I knew I was beating games. I like to win. If I would play a bigger cash game, I would sell pieces. If I play a bigger buy-in tournament, I sell pieces. I really was never a shot taker. If anything, probably too conservative. But part of that was like I like making people money, so I don't mind selling pieces. If I'm doing well, then they're happy. It comes in other ways. It's just one of those things. Like I was just always very conservative, like super, super slow like this. I never took shots, like almost ever. Never would
I feel like this is the biggest league of most players, though. Like most players are just the biggest league of all the player pool altogether. I feel it's like that they are playing too high limits. I actually find it not so difficult to make like 2 or 3K, so enough for a living as a poker player. But it seems like a lot of people are not making it because they start to play too. I mean, if you like grinding the low limits, let's say $11 and less, and you're beating them, if you put in the volume, you'll probably already make like a 2 to 3K. So, and it's not that tough. But a lot of people that are able to do it start to playing too high and lose like money on their bigger buy-in. So I like the conservative approach. It's not max EV if you put in enough study hours and you want to make a lot of money later. But still, it's a big league of a lot of people that are they're clicking too high limits. The second thing you were talking about is how you can apply poker in real life, and I 100% agree with that. And that's, even though I'm like way more building up the business today and I'm not playing that much anymore, I still will love poker forever for that reason, because in the end, poker is like life. Like you have to make the best decisions with incomplete information you have, and even if you do everything right, you can lose. You can lose. So and that's like so true for life too. If sometimes you make everything perfect and still you're not lucky, and you still have to be unbiased later and try to make the best decisions directly after. And we are teaching also on Raise Your Edge, like people should do meditation so they are unbiased in their decisions and can focus on making the best decisions on the information they have. And also it's the principle of when you do a mistake and you made a mistake, you still try to play your best later. That sounds very easy, but everyone who played poker know how often we end up being biased and how tough it is to stay focused and sharp and play the A game after like bad beats or after mistakes or stuff like that. And also, I have to say, in the end, those poker players that put in the hours for work and studying will also succeed. And that's the same for life too. The more you put in work, the more results you will have later. But it's not linear. It's like you just have to improve your chances,
For sure. Yeah. I like to say this. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. I'm a big believer in that. Like it's hard for outside people, if you're not living in the poker, to really understand, especially in tournaments. I have a background. I play a fair amount of cash games now. The last 2-3 years, it's hard to even say which I play more of, but now I've gotten really into Twitch and I don't play online cash. So, it's more right now I've really gotten into that and streaming and enjoying it. And also with Raise Your Edge, kind of, I played a long time, but just what I'm learning with Raise Your Edge is it's definitely like showing me, I know I'm a winning solid player, but like showing me that there's a lot of work that I'm missing to become the best. If I want to be one of the best, and the kind of work that some of these players are putting in. And I think that's one of the things that's just fun to me, that it's like you can still learn, you can still get better, you can still work at it and still make improvements. And I think that's true. And again, in life, it's like you said, you just don't know when you're going to get your break. You don't know if you're going to win the Turbo Series just happened. You could hit the Turbo Series main event. You could lose during the whole series. And to explain to people, in tournaments, how, in cash, you can kind of get a feeling if you're a winning, losing player, like over a shorter sample size. If you like, you can go on a bad run, but you kind of know like you should be winning or how you're doing. But in tournaments, there's a lot of variance. It can be frustrating, especially if it's such a results oriented game. When you have your girlfriend, your wife, your friends, and you, at the end of the day, it's like, did you win or lose this weekend or during this series? And it's a little bit like, can be frustrating because it can be spells. Like, as a tournament player, you can go a long time and you could be one of the best players in the world and not win a big event for a while or online. So it's it's a little bit of a funny thing. And I think you just have to really know what you're doing and believe in your game, stay positive, be honest, because there's times where I've played where I'm not winning, and it's like, wow, I ran the worst I've ever run. It's almost like I just want to tell people, like, look at these hands I'm losing and these crazy bad beats, and I'm losing every flip, and it's like unfair. And then there's times where you're losing and it's like, yeah, maybe that's happening, but you're also starting to tilt a little bit. You're going off your game plan. You're forcing all ins. You're taking different lines than you normally would, and that can be, you can get blindsided. There's times where I'm definitely guilty of it, even just now. I'm a professional, and looking back on like this series, I'm like, man, like there's a couple days where it didn't need to be so bad, where I was rebuying in these high $500 buy-in tournaments 2-3 times when maybe I could have played a lot better. In the days where you're not running well, it's like where you should maybe tone it back or try to take less variance, where you try to push it more and stuff like that. I think every player is guilty of that to some degree. But I think that's important, to be honest with your play.
Maybe Ben not, but everyone else.
Yeah. Are you playing your best game? And be honest when you're not, and take a look at it. Why? Was it lack of preparation? Did you have other side factors? Because I'm a huge energy guy, believe in positive energy, positive thinking, just in general, being clean. Like, there's no question the guy that's out partying with his buddies Saturday night and then wakes up and fires online, if you think that's like your optimal situation, versus the guy that goes to bed at 10 p.m., wakes up at 7, gets a gym in, meditates for 30 minutes, maps out his tables, what he's going to play, how many he's going to play, and why, clears all his distractions, handles his emails before he starts, gets his food ready for the breaks. You can take Ben CB, and if he's out there partying till all hours of the night, wakes up with no plan, versus average Joe who's totally in the zone. I'll probably take the average Joe on a Sunday, but it's like, the game is tough now. It's gotten a lot tougher. There's a lot of information. There's raise your edge. There's solvers. There's formulas. There's things. So, if you want to be the best, you got to give yourself the best opportunity. You got to do everything everyone else is doing, plus find ways to increase your edge, because it has gotten harder, which is cool. I mean, in a way, it's like, at the same time, live poker, I don't think it's going anywhere. There's still these live events are growing. The guarantees, they're throwing up 10 million guarantees. Pokerstars is doing the 25K PCA, next 9 million added to the prize pool. Every event I see has like bigger numbers, bigger stuff, more events, more stuff. Like, live poker's thriving. Online poker, I don't know. It's gotten a little tougher. There's going to be some issues with bots and this and that and solvers and statistics and all these things that, everyone's learning, getting better and whatever. So that's another, but ultimately poker is poker. Poker is, like you said, a game in perfect information. It's going to be around. And, I think it's a beautiful game. Like, for me, I think it really is one of the purest forms of just games and everything. Backgammon's been solved, certain other games, chess, just the actual purity of poker, that you can play with your friends, family, have different variations of poker. Like, another thing is, people talk about No Limit Hold'em, but now there's Pot Limit Omaha, very popular. There'll be a new game in 10 years. It probably won't be No Limit Hold'em in 10 years. It's the most popular game. Maybe it's a, Power Up or whatever, some new game or variation, 5-card Omaha, like it'll be, but poker is poker. Reading people, imperfect information, making decisions, risk management, all that fundamentally I think will be around forever. And I know it will. I mean, as a, you know, people love to gamble. They love a little bit of like luck and up. And you can't go play with Michael Jordan basketball or swim with Michael Phelps, but you would have no shot. And what it wouldn't even be something to talk about. But you know, me and you could play, or me and my wife could play, and in any format, like she could win. You know, and that's kind of like why it's fun. That there's some luck. And you know, I think it's just a great game. It's just a purely great overall game that's sort of just perfect.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think maybe cash game online cash game could die in the next 1 to 3 years. That's also why we like are not doing anything more at Raise Your Edge with online cash game. But yeah, but I think tournaments, like people want to win the big prizes. There will be enough recreational players for a long time, I think, in tournament poker, also online. And as you said, I'm gonna, as soon as it's really getting like too tough, which I can't see in the next 5 to 10 years, I think there will be coming up new games. And what I found very interesting, if you exchange a couple of words in what you just said, like it could be just life advice. I mean, you said about some advice for poker that could be is 100% true it for life. You could do like build up a business and you do everything perfect, and poker treats you unfair sometimes, and so does life. Sometimes you do everything right and you get still fucked because something unlucky happens, and you have to have risk management, so you're not putting everything on one card, you're not buying for all your money in one tournament. And that's also for life, with assets management and all that stuff. And
For sure. I agree. My dad said something to me years ago about that it stuck with me. He said it's not about what happens, it's how you react to what happens. You know, basically stuff's gonna happen. You're gonna get dumped, stuff's gonna happen to you. You're gonna take bad beats, your teacher's gonna give you a grade you don't deserve, you know, but like it's like stuff happens. It's like you deal with it. Do you want to cry about it? Do you want to whine about it? Do you want to say this is unfair and this I'm so unlucky? Or do you want to just take it, notice it? You know, that's part of like meditation. I've done some Buddhist stuff. I went to a 10-day meditation camp, no talking, writing, reading.
The light that just turned on makes the picture a little bit better.
Oh, okay. All right. Nice.
I think it's your screen, right?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, it looks, but you know, so that kind of stuff, like simply notice it. That's sort of like the Buddhist mindset. Notice it, let it pass. Notice it, let, you know, things, good things, bad things, and stay even keeled. I think that's another thing. If you hit a big tournament score, if you win 20 sessions in a row, like notice it, take it in, say that's great. You know, I'm running well, things are going well. Don't get too cocky. Keep it even keeled. And when you're losing, you know, kind of trying to look at, step back, and you know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing repeatedly and expecting different results. So, you know, if things aren't working, take a look at it, realize maybe there's some variance, but also kind of just don't go crazy, tilt, you know, maybe sell some more action, play lesser stakes, play less tables. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can make variance in your game and try to see what's not working. So, it's all easier said than done, but there's always an answer. And again, I think that's the coolest part, is it applies. Poker and life are just so,
I mean, sometimes the one outer is gonna hit and you're gonna lose a very important hand, but still, like the controlling the emotions, that's like also so important for I saw it when I also was working together with Ben, and sometimes like stuff happen from a business perspective that were not good for us, but it's very important that in these moments we're not getting emotional, but still stay calm and are able to make the best decisions we can make, because that's where a lot of people, I feel like, fail. And this controlling your mind, I like that part the most, because it's not taught in school or anything like that. But I feel it's so important and so big league of a lot of people in life, how they're approaching life, that are like too much in those victimhood, like which is a kind of tilt. They're like, that should happen. My boss made me doing extra hours, or it's his fault, or there are a lot of stuff that people come up with excuses or why they are a victim or stuff like that. But just sometimes shit happens, and those people that are successful in poker and those are unsuccessful in life, just take it and still try to make their best later, and then there will the time where they hit the one out and get lucky and win the tournament and make a big score. It's just about like hustling and trying.
For sure. I agree.
I still want to ask you, you said you don't want to exchange your life against anything. I still want to ask you, from the life you're living, is there anything that has been not as good as expected? Is there anything you don't like or you haven't liked for a time? I'm also asking from a personal perspective, because I'm also in the situation like I can work from wherever I want, I can stay wherever I want. And I have to say that there are also some things that are a bit tougher than I expected. And yeah, so I wanted to ask you, how has it been for you?
Yeah. Man, it's interesting. I don't know. It's kind of hard to answer, because when I say I wouldn't change it for anything, I just mean like, even say I could be on Wall Street or something, some job where I could make more money, like the experience I've had, the people I've met, the fun, just my path, like I wouldn't have it any other way, just kind of how it's gone. Like I'm not saying there not could be better scenarios or more lucrative position. I'm just saying, like, me personally, I love it. Like I just love poke. I just love the kind of interaction, just sort of lifestyle, how it is. But I will say, I guess to answer, traveling I'm married now. So I met my wife at Burning Man and 3 years ago, 2014 Burning Man. So yeah, it's been a little while now. We just got married last December, and it's great. She's very supportive. Luckily, she works in real estate and she's able to travel. So she's pretty, she's here with me now. We're in Mexico.
Congratulations to the marriage.
Thank you. It's great. I love it. And it's just kind of happened fast where, this kind of lifestyle it's fun, but it's something to me. It's like I'm 31. I love traveling, but it is kind of nice to have a routine. And there are some with Twitch and being Pokerstars playing has to be out of the US. There's some complications. Here I'm in Mexico. It's just kind of like always juggling the calendar, figuring out where to go, what to do. Like internet's a problem. Like a lot of places, it's not good enough to stream, which I need. So, it's just like, it just seems like it's kind of a lesson, but just sort of like everything's not always perfect, Like in a perfect world, I would just be able to roll out of my bed, go into my office in Miami and click live and do this thing. But of course, it's not the case. I have to go out of the country. I want to start a family. It's a lot. Traveling's a lot. I got all this set up. I got this crazy, monitors, stuff like hooking up, doing with it. And it's a lot of work. It's not just simply like go live on Twitch. There's people involved. The more people that are involved in a setup and an operation, I'm sure you guys learn with your business, there's a lot of stuff that comes with it. You got different things. You have Discord, you got email, Skype, all these different messages. You got people coming at you in every which way for wanting to interact with you. They want to share with you. They want to talk to you. Same thing, like, not like Biggie, like more money, more problems, but more stuff, more time is out, right? Like YouTube to answer the comments. And like how it starts is I'm answering every YouTube comment that someone makes. And then it's like, well, Discord, I love Discord. It's great. I have the group there, and then it's like, now you have your family, you have your friends, you have your wife or your significant other, your girlfriend. You want to do Twitch, you want to start a business, you want to learn cryptocurrency. Like if anything, I feel like, and if you're busy, I think you're great. Like people that are busy, and I'm sure it's for you the same way, just with this business and poker, everything. It's like, it's almost like there's no free time. It's kind of like, there's just something like literally there's like always something to be doing, which is great. But like, I mean, I don't, Game of Thrones, I used to watch, like, I don't watch TV. I don't watch series really ever. And I just feel like I'm really busy with stuff that I'm passionate about and I love. So I'm grateful for that. But it's almost like, it's just, I'm kind of like on a scattered tangent here. It's just kind of like, there's so much I want to do. And sometimes I feel a little disorganized, almost like what to do, where, when, why. And then you throw in traveling, which is tough. Cause like a lot of times you're on the road, you can't do what you want to do exactly. Or, even you could see this call was, for us, to get on this thing, we were legitimately trying, both of us. Like there was some tech issues.
It's 12 p.m. in Mexico right now, and you're making a podcast. And
yeah, it's midnight almost. Yeah.
So and it's 9 p.m. for me also. I'm the only one in the co-working space. That's like the way of hustling.
Right. No, it's great, and I wouldn't trade it, but it's just kind of like, it's just funny because like I remember 3-4 years ago I was out partying, I was at Burning Man running around, kind of crazy, and still always pretty focused and had a drive to succeed and whatnot. But like,
Yeah, I have a party. I've been an event host before. I was working in Raise Your Edge. Like I was playing poker on the side and had a corporate job in online marketing. Um, yeah, so I've been there with the partying and stuff.
yeah, and it just kind of happened fast though, where it was sort of like, in my mind, I was like, oh, I'll be 35, running around doing whatever, and then I'll like settle down, get married, have kids around that. Like kind of just like, thinking back in the day, and then just kind of like boom, all my friends married, kid. I wasn't really looking for it, but I was like, wow, it's crazy. It happened so fast. And then, I met my wife. I was like, oh, I met her, and I was like, I'm gonna marry this. I know I'm gonna marry her. I just knew it. And then like next thing you know, it's like things happen differently. Like, that's another thing too. I think people that like say, oh, I'm going to get married, do this and that, and like set their way, like you can't really game plan what's going to happen. You just kind of have to go with how things roll. But things are different. Like I would never thought I'd be 31 married, looking to start a family, and just learn like just a lot. It just
that's very interesting to hear for someone. Like I'm a little bit younger than you. I'm like 26, and I think a lot of stuff will happen in the next couple of years. I'm not expecting. So
yeah, no, I'm just saying, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was kind of like, I'm just saying, like, when I was that age, I was just thinking, oh, I'll be 30. Like, in my head, I was thinking like whatever. And then it just like kind of happened fast. And even so with like friends and traveling, and had an idea of like what it would be like. And, I wouldn't trade it. I'm very happy. I'm just saying, it's just like interesting how it's different to be single also than when you add in a significant other, a partner, a marriage. It's like, now it's like everything is, you're checking. Like, it's like, okay, do you want to come? Are we going to go here? There's plans as well. They have married, you start getting marriages. There's people getting married, baby showers, crazy. There's just all kinds of events are happening. So it's like, not just your plans, it's like their plans too. And you try to figure it all out. So it's sort of like another full-time thing. And that's what I'm saying. You have to, they say happy wife, happy life. It's like this Twitch thing and how it all works. I wish they had this when I played a lot of online poker. I was playing a lot, like like all day, every day, for a couple of years. But, I started Twitch when like 2 years ago now. So like 29-ish. I was kind of out of the online poker grind, honestly. Like I was playing like once a week cash game. I fly to Houston, play a Wednesday afternoon game in Houston once a week. I was playing twice a week there, Wednesday, Sunday for about a year, and I would fly in and out. And that was sort of like what I was doing. Like I hadn't played online poker in like years. So like then when I started getting into Twitch, it was like, all right, well now I got to learn, figure this online. The game's a little different. Learn some stuff, get into it, and kind of do this all over again. So just kind of things change. Like nothing's perfect. It would have been great to have this 8 years ago. Who knows? Like I would have been like, if I were 21 or 22 and starting and like grinding online poker, and I like, this would have been, not saying it worked. It's worked out and I like it. I'm just saying like, it would have been perfect 8 years ago, but it's just not how it works. Now it's a little different. Like I can't just sit at a computer 24/7, 365 for a year straight, like, it's just like I have other stuff. I have social engagements. I have stuff going on, and I just wouldn't want to do that anyway. So it's kind of like tough to find a balance with Twitch too. It's like, how do I do it? That's the thing too. It's like, do I stay out of the country? Do I live in Florida? How do I find that balance? Not to be too scattered. Like I'd like to like be just kind of focus on one thing, but it's for a good reason. I have some couple different things going on.
Yeah, sometimes flexibility is also like a burden. I feel for me also, like I'm always not knowing where I'm going to be next month, and it's sometimes it's kind of tough because you just can't decide. And also what I experienced, also what you said, like it's great to be busy. That's also true for me. Like when I look back at my life so far, I've been way happier when I was busy than when I'm not that busy. And like I enjoy enjoyment sometimes, but not that much. And like for me, the part of hustling and working should take a big part of my life. Like I'm not talking about 40 hours. I enjoy working more, but still I mean, you have still time to go on nice dinners with interesting people. You have still times to go out sometimes. It's just like I feel like a lot of people out there are wasting their time on other stuff that are like, I don't know, like TV shows, as you said, or social media too much. Like, I mean, some do it as a job, but you know what I mean. And yeah, and then I've had periods in my life where I was also not that where I was not that focused and was spending way more time enjoyment. And now it didn't make me as happy as when I'm hustling. And every time now I've not enough to do. I think of next huge projects and new projects. And yeah, I feel like that makes us feel alive.
Right. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to create stuff. It's fun to engage others, to motivate others, to create something that you feel is valuable. It's again, same thing. Like I love to work. I love it. Like, you know, I don't need to like go overboard, but like I genuinely am having fun creating something that I think other people will like. And also just like memories, you know, it's like I'm creating something that I can go back and look at. It's almost like Twitch to me, and YouTube, having a YouTube channel, it's kind of fun as like a doc, even just having a thumbnail or a video. If I ever want to go back, like, you know, looking at some of these memories and moments and trips and experiences, like to me, it'll be like, you know, in 20 years or something, if I have kids, or looking back, it's like, well, oh, what were you doing? What my dad, you know, where was I in 2017 or 2018? What was I doing? What was I creating? So, you know, that's kind of part of the fun for me too, is to kind of make like a living, like a diary, like a journal, like a more fun journal.
When we're talking about creating content, I just started with my YouTube channel. Do you have any tips for me? Like I'm starting to build a viewership, of course, like I'm posting in our Raise Your Edge community and in my private community. And I have, as said before we started the broadcast, I have two topics like freedom lifestyle, so lifestyle that is not the standard corporate 9-to-5 job, and like cryptocurrencies. Do you have any starts to build up also like a little viewership for me, or more viewership for me?
Yeah, I think consistency is just the biggest thing. That's what I'm learning with Twitch and YouTube is try to be consistent, let people know, you know, if it's once a week on Mondays or twice a week, or try to stick to kind of be consistent with what you're doing, you know, have stuff to roll out, have a schedule, let people know what your kind of aim is, what you're trying to do. And I think it's easier said than done. I don't know. Do you have an editor? Like, are you shooting videos, or just are you going to do podcasts, or will you do?
Yeah, right now I'm starting like with videos, like straight content videos where I'm talking into the camera. Because also for me, English is a foreign language, so I still feel like I can improve a little bit more there. And later I want to do also like vlogs and stuff like that, where I'm carrying around the camera, and also maybe do some stuff when surfing or kite surfing. And I have someone who helps me with editing. And as you said, I also just started with the consistency part. I posted on my social media. I'm going to post one freedom lifestyle video every Tuesday, and one cryptocurrency video every Thursday. And every time I'm not posting one, I'm going to donate $250 to a charity. And I'm going to donate. I'm donating sometimes anyway, but I still wanted to make a little bit more social pressure, that I'm putting out the content, because sometimes I feel you're not 100% confident with what you made, but you should still put it out. So you will improve. Like if you just start, it's not. I don't think you can make it perfect from the beginning.
I will say this, looking back on some of my YouTube videos on my channel, well, one, you definitely need an editor. You need someone to help if you're doing that stuff, because like it's impossible. If you want to do it, put it out, you know, even making tweets or letting people know that content is there, it's overwhelming. It's a lot of work. So you need help with getting out the content, editing it and all that. But also I would say, don't wait for it to be perfect. I have one of my really good buddies who always says this. He just can't, you know, it's like he does a video or he does a thing and it's like, oh, it's like just he wants it to be really good or perfect. Like just start throwing some out there. You know, your first kites, if you do a kite surfing video or you do some stuff, like my first ever YouTube video, I need to go back and watch it. Cause I mean, it was like, I was like in Vegas and I just was like, I got this camera. I told Vadran, who helps me with everything. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna start doing some video stuff. But like my first one, I was like walking around showing like, you know, in Radio Shack or buying doing like, it was just like bad. Like if looking at it now, I'd be like, man, what the hell? Like I wouldn't, but it's funny because like you start just as you put it out there, you get feedback, you sort of see, then you watch it yourself and be like, man, you know, that doesn't make sense, or I don't need to do that or whatever. So then it's just like, if you just wait for it to be perfect, it just would never happen. You're never going to start. But once you do it once, twice, 3 times, like who cares if the first couple suck? Like no one's even, you know, no one goes back and really looks at like your, you know, they look at the more recent stuff, and if they love your stuff, they'll maybe go read it. But, you know, again, do it for you. Just do it because you want to do it. You think it's interesting. It's fun. You want to engage people. You want to teach people, show people, whatever it is. Just do it for you, and don't worry about if it's not the best or it doesn't make a lot of sense, because it'll just get better. You just have to start doing it.
Sounds very good and motivating for sure. Yeah, very interesting. I will do it. You will see it on social media. I'm just like, normally I'm just like a little bit worried about like the people in my social circle. I know I shouldn't be at all, but yeah, still like, actually you should probably also be proud if you fail or if it's not good in the beginning, because then you can prove them wrong later. And yeah, so we are almost 1 hour in now. I don't want to take too much of your time. It's very nice of you that you do this podcast with me, even though I'm having not that big of a viewership and you're not like profiting like as that much as a branding from it. But so big thanks. Just as a last question, I know you have also, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you have been into very high stakes cash games through Bill Perkins also. Do you maybe have some interesting stories about that for us?
Yeah, I've played big cash games, 200, 400, up to 1K, 2K, no limit. So there's been some big pots, big, you know, crazy situations. I played.
So one second, for those who are not playing poker, 1K, 2K means that the big blind is $2,000, and that means that most of the time people have an average stack about, I don't know, 50,000, no, 100,000 to 200,000 in front of them. So that is very, very high stakes.
Start with 200,000. It's big, yeah, big games.
You even can't like, those people games are not like even high for television, and it's higher than television games, and you can't find it in rarely in casinos.
Yeah, it's like home game stuff. But yeah, I mean, I've lost some big pots, won big pots. Actually, my biggest pot I've ever won and lost are both against Bill. But
how much were they about?
Like one pot, the one I won was bigger. That was around 700K. But the one I lost was big too, and he had kings, I had nines, and it was in no limit, king, 9, deuce, rainbow. And Bill, you know, Bill plays pretty wild. So middle set, king, 9, like aces or any king, or I figure he's just he was, so it was pretty shocking. You know, that was a tough one. But yeah, no, it's cash games are fun. It's been good, and I have a good time with it, and that's where I made a lot of great relationships too.
Do you sometimes think about like, I mean, I also have like normal friends, and I've played 5, 5, 10, 20, and like there's one hand for 3K, for example, and I'm thinking like that's just like the average salary or like the salary of some people for a month. They're working 160 hours for that. And you're playing for 700K one hand. How I find it like, I don't even know how you say how it feels, but sometimes it feels a bit weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it does. I mean, again, like just to be very clear as well, when I talking about like playing, because I play like 100K, when I play a 100K buy-in tournament, or if I play in a huge cash game, you know, I am not. It's not 100% my money. You know, I sell pieces. There's action. So like when you hear these numbers,
I know that. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but still, probably you also invested a couple. Even if you have 1% of the 700K pot, it's 7K one hand.
Yeah. No, I mean for sure, it's intense, and the swings are big. It definitely kind of like you kind of just get in there and then don't really think about it. But hopefully you get out of there with a win. You know, and you can just kind of relax, but it gets intense. I mean, there's been some intense moments and swings, and you know, Yeah, it's fun. I've played in some unbelievable places. Like I've played in some pretty cool spots and with interesting people, and been in like Turkey and private home games, and played 3 days at Michael Jordan's house and some other, DiCaprio's place, like fun, like interesting, kind of like just sort of like as a person, not to be a celebrity name drop stuff, but like, it's kind of like exciting, like guys you see on TV, or like a story. It's like stories you have for a lifetime, where it's like, it's just cool, Like I met Michael Phelps playing poker in Windsor, Canada. We met at a poker table and then hit it off, became best friends. So that was, I've met a lot of
I knew you were hiding some crazy stories.
Yeah, I got some. That'd be a whole nother podcast, and I don't know, some stuff I don't know. It's to talk about or not, but I mean, I've seen it all.
I'm gonna get to stories once I reach 10,000 subscribers.
Okay, we can do a round two, for sure. We can talk some stories, but yeah, no. Again, poker's great. I love it. It's fun. I've kind of like crossed over now too, where it's like I just feel like Twitch and in general poker is you have to remember too, the US, it's only legal in New Jersey. Pennsylvania just passed. Delaware
is it legal, but it's not legal to play on Pokerstars, or they have only specific sites, right?
In New Jersey on Pokerstars, but it's only it's only within New Jersey. You can't play 10 million from there. But the point is, like, in the next 2 years, 1 year, I mean, there could be 5, 10, 15 states, and they could just open up. Like if the USA opens back up to online poker, I mean,
it's going to be big.
It'll be huge.
I think just California alone would make a big difference, because most of the players were coming from California.
Yeah, they would be like the 3rd largest country or 4th largest country, I think, in general. So yeah, it would be massive. And I mean, it's kind of crazy that you can play fantasy sports. You can bet on random players and stuff, and not poker. And it's kind of weird, but whatever. It's like, again, it's not going anywhere. I think it's got a big future. I think people are really, there's Poker Go now. There's other stuff happening. There's some, that's with Twitch and YouTube and whatnot. I think it's just, I think it's got a big future, and I think, I don't think poker's going anywhere, and it's a great game. So, stuff like Raise Your Edge and other tools that can help you get better and learn how to play it better, to think.
Yeah, but still, I want to say, like, we are helping people to play better poker, but still also, as we're advertising it and people know, like, it's not about like the course alone is about 30 hours. So even putting in 30 hours to watch everything is a time investment. Not everyone does. And also, but like, that's not like as you should do the course. I mean, if you do the course as Ben suggested to do it, you're spending way more hours, and it's constantly working. And even of those people that are having the course, there's a big difference of those people that are just like watching a few videos, and those that are like really studying, doing all the homework, and constantly grinding and keep improving their games. I mean, where Ben is also talking about warm-ups and like before session studying and stuff like that. He even as one of the best players in the world is doing warm-ups before all his sessions, and still analyzing ICM spots and stuff like that. There's so much room to improvement, and no matter how much information there will be out, it will always be a difference between those people that put in the work, because you can't learn it in, no matter what information you get, you can learn it in less than in a couple of hours or whatever, and you will need a couple of thousand hours probably, and to really master the game on a very good level. It will be like that forever.
That's a great point. People do sometimes say that to me. It's similar to health. Like, I could sit here and tell you, like, yeah, here I work out these days. I do this. This is how you do it. Here's the videos how to do it. Here's how to eat nutrition. But you could maybe make slight improvements. But are people going to go and really do the work? Are they going to cut the stuff? Are they going to cut eating bad? Are they going to cut out alcohol? Are they going to get better sleep? Are they going to do the training sessions? Like, just because of the information is there, that's just one component. That's the easy part. The people, yeah. And then you have to be able to apply it. It's the same thing. Like, even if you do study forever and do a lot, like, you have to have, someone who's never played poker can't just buy the course and think they're going to go win the Sunday Million, like, yeah, they got to put times in, they got to do the repetition. There's a lot that goes into it. So yeah, it's one of those things, it's just a tool to aid in.
Yeah, I mean, there's all information out to be Mr. Olympia or to become a fitness model, but still people have to put in the work. There's all information out, like how to be like, there's so much information how to become good at chess, and people are not putting in the work.
Right. Or you could put in the work and that still doesn't guarantee it. There's intangibles. There's certain people that poker just probably wouldn't be a good fit for. Their mind doesn't work. My wife doesn't like, she would have a tough time just like with understanding and certain people's personalities are kind of geared, I think, towards it to be successful as well. As anything, certain people are going to be good at certain things and not at others. And again, the thing about poker is to learn to dedicate yourself to understand the game, to apply principles. And I think poker is just a good thing in general. And also, if you're ever going to go play with your buddies, or it's just a common thing, go to charity poker tournament. Your guys want to play once a week instead of being maybe the fish in the game, or just being like, oh, what's a big blind, or what's a button, what's a 3-bet, what's like basic terms. Like it can't hurt to kind of learn it. Sort of like learning a language. Like I'm learning Portuguese. My wife's Brazilian, learning Spanish, understanding some Spanish can't be the worst thing. Doesn't mean you're going to use it all the time or you need it. But I think it's just kind of one of those things. It's a fun thing. If you're looking for a hobby or something to kind of get better at or improve on, stuff like that is always good to do mental sort of training. And poker is just sort of like a fundamental life thing that's good to have some basic understanding.
Yeah, there is also a lot of happiness theories are saying like, learning a thing and constantly improving is making us very happy, and it's very enjoyable. It could be anything from learning a language, from playing poker, from learning an instrument, stuff like that. People go to school and then later they are not keep improving, and then it's when they're gonna decline and enjoyment and stuff. What do you think? Like my last question. If you would give like one general advice to everyone who's watching the video, and it should not be poker related, but something that could increase their lifestyle, because a lot of people want to increase their lifestyle without not playing poker, something to open up more to not traditional passes, and yeah, some advice into this direction.
Yeah, I think it's important to go with your heart, like really believe in something, like figure out what you want to do and why, whether it's someone you aspire to be or, a role model or something you look up to. I think it's important to find something and make a goal, believe in it and stick to it. Just basically decide for yourself. Don't worry. Then you were asking, do your parents, do they tell you not to play poker? Do they tell you not to? I'm not saying like go out like into a super crazy, do something insane that's like, frowned upon in society, but just in general, like find something that you're passionate about, put your head down, learn the craft, put the work in, do what it takes to succeed, and don't really worry. Don't worry about what others are doing. I think that's the biggest piece of advice that I ever got from living with Phelps, which sort of changed how I thought about things. And it was pretty simple, but I think don't compare yourself to others. For example, Mike says the Olympics are coming up. He sets a goal for his time. He says, I'm going to swim. He knows what he's swimming out. I'm going to get this time in the Olympics. This will be my time in the Olympics. He's not checking.
Probably a new world record though.
Yeah, but if some guy from Germany or Brazil beats that time and does their own training, does what, he's not worried about how they're training, why they're training. He's not looking at their stuff. He's not watching them. He's not checking on them. He's not worried about what's going on. He's focused on his mission, his goal, his time. Put yourself down, put your goal down for don't worry about what your buddy's doing. Don't worry about what else is happening. It's so easy to get distracted with all kinds of noise and things. But if you are focused and you have your dream, your vision, and, find a way to achieve it, don't get caught with the noise. Don't get sidetracked or second guess yourself. Basically make a decision, do what you want to do, and go for it. I think that's the biggest thing. Just don't worry about what others are doing and compare yourself. Be focused on what you're doing and stick with your goals and your vision.
I think I will take this part and make it my Instagram promo for this video. There's also one very famous picture of Phelps when I think they're coming in for the end, and the other two guys on Phelps' right and left are looking towards Phelps, and he's looking straight up front. And it's saying like that's the main difference. He's just focusing on getting fast, and they're looking at him. And so yeah, that's very nice advice. Thanks a lot. And
Yes.
have a nice evening, have a nice night, and have fun in Mexico. And see you maybe in Miami in 2 weeks. I will be in Miami in 2 weeks.
I will be there. So let me know. Thank you for the talk, and we'll come back for some story time soon.
Okay, bye.
All right. Have a good night, man.
You too. Thanks all for watching. If you want more of my videos, please subscribe me and follow me on Instagram. I just started. I love your feedback. I appreciate it. And yeah, I have to look back in the camera. If you made it till here, big thanks, and see you for future videos and podcasts.